Hi, my name is Jessie Adams. I'm a hairstylist in Costa Mesa, California. Come with me to take this new client lighter for the first time. Her hair is naturally really dark and she does have some previous dye on her ends, so we are just trying to brighten her a little bit overall without being too brassy. So we decided to approach this with a full head highlight. I did a lot of teasy lights throughout the underneath and crown section. And you can see I'm doing a pretty textured weave because she does want to keep a lot of depth throughout the root area. I'm using 20 volume for all of these highlights because this is my first time doing her color. I don't know how her hair would respond to anything stronger, so honestly I'd rather keep the integrity of the hair over getting as light as possible for our first session. And then about every 4 to 5 foils, I went in and sectioned out a tip out where I did a pretty textured weave with a back comb just to make sure everything stays super soft. The best advice I could give for creating beautiful tip outs would be to take finer sections than you think. The worst thing ever is rinsing out all of your foils to find that your highlights lifted beautifully, but your tip outs are still brassy because you took too thick of a section and they weren't able to evenly lift. Saturation is so important, not only for tip outs, but for any highlight. If you don't saturate the section all the way, then when you rinse it, you're gonna find that you have dark spots throughout the highlight, and that is just not that pretty. My client went to process once we were done with all her foils, and once she was all shampooed, I mixed up her root smudge. And for her root smudge formula, I did 2/3 4N and 1/3 4NB Redken Shades EQ. Normally for my root smudges, I do equal parts an N and an NB or an NW just for a nice neutral tone. But her root area was a little bit warm just because of the feathering into her root. So I did more N just to help cancel out any of that unwanted brass. One of my favorite tips for a really blended out root shadow is to let it process for about 7 minutes, and then after that take a wet brush and comb it through and let that sit for about 3 minutes. And I've found that this kind of acts as like a mid-tone without having to reformulate something completely different, and it helps prevent any harsh lines or any like spots or anything like that. Once her root shadow was done processing, we got that all rinsed out, and then for her all over gloss, I mixed up 1/2 713 Dia Light, 1/4 931 Dia Light, and 1/4 913 Dia Light. The idea of this formulation was to cancel out any brass and give her a nice beigey, like level 7 or 8. You can see that those tip outs were still a little bit brassy, breaking through all of the previous color that she had on her ends. So I chose to take the level down a little bit to help cancel out some of those warmer tones. And here's our finished product. I am so happy with the amount of brightness that we got, given that there was literally no brightness to begin with. And I'm really happy with the tone that we got in the end. It's like a beautiful golden beige, perfect for summer, and I can't wait to see how light we get her next time. I hope you learned something today. Thanks for watching.